Oh, shoot. I forgot to put grease on it. Dadgummit, David. Good morning, YouTubers. Yeah, I like the way that sounds. How y'all doing today? Saturday morning, my usual work on tons of stuff morning. Actually, I think it's early afternoon now. I've already pulled a bunch of parts for customers. I've already had to do a house call and put some batteries in a diesel truck for a guy. Whew. But now, it's time for some fun. Gonna work finally on the old C3. I'm gonna pull the pan today. We're gonna see if we can find that busted push rod. With a little luck, I'll get find the busted push rod. We'll clean out the pan. We'll put the cam in it. I'm trying to think. I want to flush it before I put the cam in it. So we'll put some fresh oil in it. Spin the old oil pump. See if I can't flush. I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil. I'm not gonna put like 9 quarts in there, 5 quarts, 6, whatever. Maybe mix it with a little bit of transmission fluid so we can clean it out. Try to get all the metal out of the engine. So we'll just sit there and turn the pump and clean this thing out, and then once we get that, we'll drain that back out, and then it's time to start putting stuff back together finally on this car. I'm hoping by the end of the weekend to get the cam inside of this thing and maybe start getting the intake back on. We'll see how it goes with the pulling the pan, flushing it, and finding that busted push rod. Hopefully it's just laying in the pan. I was originally going to try to snake it out, but I've decided the way this car is designed, it's pretty easy to get the pan off. And I did already buy a pan gasket because we're not going to get any leaks. And while I've got it out, I am going to go ahead and put a new rear main seal in it. The Gremlin has taught me a lot about fixing things that maybe don't need fixing just yet. This car doesn't have a ton of miles on the rebuild, but it's got a lot of time on it. And sometimes sitting is worse because they'll crack and get old. And I don't want any leaks. So we're going to go ahead and throw a rear main in this as well. Oh yeah, I got to put a new flywheel. I forgot about that. So I was thinking, oh, I don't have to pull the clutch out of this thing, but I do because I forgot we're going to put a new flywheel in it as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the bell housing off. I'm going to pull the old flywheel off because she did have a vibration. I've got a brand new flywheel that is for this application. The other one I had laying around, I wasn't sure if it was the right one. Probably was a small block, and it's vibrating because small blocks are internally balanced for you that don't know. And the 454 big block is externally balanced. And for those who care, the 400 small block is also externally balanced, but all other small blocks, to my knowledge anyway, are internally balanced. And somebody told me all big blocks are externally balanced, but I would do some research on that because I know the 454 for sure is, maybe the 427, but I don't know about like the 396 stuff. So don't quote me on those. All right, but the 454 for sure is externally balanced. I think I got the wrong flywheel, so I bought a brand new one, so we won't have any problems. So we're going to start by pulling the rear because it'll be easier to get the pan off with all that crap out of the way. So we're going to go ahead and take everything off the back of the engine, pull the pan off, clean everything out, see if we can't find that busted push rod, do some flushing. That might be the end of the video by that point. It's going to take some time. You know, I always think I can do things in 2 minutes. It ends up taking, all day. So that's the plan. Do plans ever work out as I say? Yeah, probably not. God only knows what's really going to happen. I do apologize for the hay rack roll cage thing, but it did roll. If you haven't watched that video, it's actually, if you ever have to weld something rusty, it's really a good video for that, especially when it's thin and rusty and you're trying to use a stick welder. There's a technique, you got to stitch weld it because you'll just blow through in no time, and rusty metal makes it hard. You got to really take your time, and it's time consuming. So nonetheless, even if you don't like hay racks, it's a good welding video for you. And I'm far from a professional welder, but it works. Trust me, it's strong. In animals, I don't care. You can throw a cow at it; it won't break it. Can you throw a cow? Don't have a cow, man. Whatever. All right, enough yapping. I'm gonna get started. Let's get started. I'm gonna do my best to take this off without blocking you completely with my head. We're gonna have to take this off. Oop, maybe I should turn that the right way. All right. I love undoing things that I've recently done. That always makes me happy. Nope, that would be a complete lie. I absolutely despise having to go back in after I've already done something. But in this case, who knew that the camshaft was going to decide to go south for the winter? Oh, that one's not going to cooperate. Oh, let's see. What's hitting? Is it the... Yeah. Now let's get a couple more out. That one, sometimes this pneumatic wobble is a little bit too fat to fit in places. So you have to resort to something else. These are not in there very tight, so I can probably just go with, yeah, it's not going to work on either side there. Okay. But I can just use the regular ratchet and an extension and probably get on that pretty good. So we'll just go with that. Something doesn't look good. I don't know where that came from. Wasn't experiencing any problems with the clutch. What the heck? Some kind of spring. I think. I don't know where that came from. But I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But I can't figure out where it came from. Oh well. We'll figure it out later. Wasn't having any clutch problems, so I don't know what that could have been. This is fine. That all looks fine. Of course, that's coming out anyway. Pilot shaft looks good. So, this is my, or was my chatter. I don't see where that came from, no matter what, but anyhow. Alright, so we're going to get a nowhere. So we're going to get a brand new flywheel. We're going to pull this one off. I'm going to leave it off because I'm going to pull the pan. And the less that's in my way, the better. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer these bolts to a safe place, meaning a bucket. And then we'll pull that flywheel off. These are funky 12-point doodahs, and I did buy these fancy sockets. They're kind of neat, and these things work perfect for this. Not sure if you're supposed to put them on an impact, but you know, whatever. And these should have Loctite on them, but this thing will zing them off anyway. Oh yeah, they got Loctite on them. I must have done it right. Can you believe it? Oh yeah, definitely had Loctite. I'm still wondering what that little springy looking thing, I'm starting to worry, came out of my throwout bearing, but it seems to be fine. I don't know. But whatever. and this shouldn't come flying off. And even if it does, I'm not reusing it. Of course, I can bring it to a swap meet. Alright, now. There we go. That rear main was not leaking even a little bit. The oil pan was. I don't know, maybe the rear main. We're going to replace that rear main anyway. So, say goodbye to that flywheel. And you know what? I'm looking at that flywheel. Yep. Here, I'll just show you. This is where I went wrong. You see any weights on the back of that flywheel? Nope, me either. Guess what that means? That means, duh, my fault. I should have looked at that externally balanced. It's going to have weights on the flywheel. When I get the new flywheel, I'll show you that. But in the meantime, we got to drain this oil. Then we're going to drop the pan and change. Obviously, I've got a one-piece seal for the oil pan, and I'm also going to put a rear main in it just because the Gremlin has taught me it's too hard to get to this thing. So if I'm this far, I'm going to put a rear main. Right? Right.
I ain't no quitter, I'll never give in. When others fall, I will stand tall. When the going gets rough and the drum pounding up, I just get going, I made a stand.
Alright, well, front suspension is going to stop it from coming out. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop it. Probably be easiest to drop it on this side. I think we just need to probably take this, probably just this out, because these should drop. I think these will drop right out. Maybe have to take the pitman arm out, but I doubt it. I think if we just pop this off of here, it should drop down far enough. So I'm going to put a couple of screws back in. That way it won't like fall when, because I got to be able to drop the back down pretty far to get the oil pump to clear. And of course it never goes back in as easily as it comes out. That would just be way too easy. It does look like I might have been getting a little leakage here. I don't think it was coming out of the oil pan. So it's probably a good thing that we're going to go ahead and change out the rear main seal. But I'm going to try just popping this off the pitman arm and see if I can't get it to drop enough. If it don't, then we'll drop it off of the control arm. I'm sorry, either arm, pitman arm. Yeah, had it backwards. Yeah, it happens. Get old. So anyway, yeah, we're going to drop it off the either arm and then maybe off the pitman arm. That should drop it down enough. I'm going to go ahead and pop this off of here. I already took the nut off. Okay? I mean, I've already taken the carter pin out. Just going to zing the nut off. It's an easy do. Okay? But now, to get it off of there's two methods. And it really largely depends on who's doing it and how they want to do it. Okay? I use a pickle fork because there's no, on this particular one, there isn't no dust boot. Okay? If there's a boot of some sort, and I'm going to double check just to be safe, then I wouldn't use a pickle fork. Well, actually there is not. Because see what happens, if you use a pickle fork, it'll damage that rubber. And this does, well, it's sort of got rubber in there. Yeah, it's got some rubber. Okay, Well, when you have rubber in there, you don't really want to go mashing it with a pickle fork, all right? Because it'll destroy that rubber in there. And that rubber is designed to keep dirt out. That one does have a rubber washer in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brass hammer and I'm just going to bang on it, okay? I'm going to mash on it and pull down at the same time. Ow. And try not to hit your hand. Problem is the tire, I hit the tire with the hammer and that made it slide to the side and end up hitting my hand. This way. See, hit that stupid tire again. There you go. Well, you know what? I could put another felt washer in there. So we're going this route. So I'm not going to hit my hand again. I don't need. Look how easy that went. This little washer, this is what I was talking about. And we didn't hurt it too bad, so we might be alright. But here's the little washer. It's just made out of felt or rubberish. But it didn't damage it too bad using the fork. And you see the difference in using the fork as opposed to trying to do it the other way and smashing your hand 300 times. Well, I think that brought it down far enough to get this pan out of here. I'd almost guarantee it. Heard that somewhere. I don't know where. Anyway, now my hand hurts. That's just great. Get this one out of here. Bars 1. Winter's great. You know, thumb split. Got a little liquid skin on there, but it's not as good as the real stuff. We'll get this one. Kind of. Oh, now she's hung up on the dipstick. Yeehaw! All right. Kind of happy to be able to get to. I'm gonna put my gloves back on because I don't want to get too terribly muddy here. Oops. But forgot what I was gonna say now. Dadgummit. This dipstick should just come right out, I think. Well, maybe this isn't gonna. Ow, pinch my finger. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Yeah, I'm clear as soon as I can get this. Here we go. Oh, there we go. It's hanging up on the pump. And I found the push rod. Woo! Yeesh. Here's the pan. And I'm going to pour the rest of the oil out into here. There's a lot of gas and stuff mixed in this for sure. A little bit of sludge. You can see here, that's pretty clean. A little bit of sludge in the bottom of it. I'm going to put this in the way so my chunks don't go anywhere. And you can see my broken push rod right there. If this will stay put for me. Let me take my gloves off so I can get dirty. Alright, here is the culprit right here. Woo! And you can see she hit a few things on the way by because they're not usually flat. But look, she's worn out on the bottom from when she just plumb wore out on that lifter. Flat as a pancake where she probably passed through the rods while running. Here's another. Now here is a ball bearing. Nope, I think that's probably. Let me clean that up, see if we can figure out what that is. It looks like a ball bearing, But I don't think it is. I think it's the top of the pushrod. To be honest with you. I know that sounds weird, but if you look at a pushrod, and I've got one right here we can show you. Man, these glasses are dirty. I can't see nothing out of these things. Let me fetch a better set of glasses. Hang on a second. Yep, that's what that is. That is the tip of, because it broke right here. You can see where it came loose on the pushrod. So if you look at a pushrod, here's a good one. It's this tip right here. See it? It's this tip. I don't know why they do that instead of just rounding it off. Doesn't make much sense. But that's how they do things in Chevrolet world. But there's your two pieces. There's your mangled pushrod. And then your tip of it. Right there. Yeehaw! Okay, so that eliminates the danger of that getting sent around town. But now I'm going to take this, put it in the cleaning tank. I'm going to clean all this sludge out of here. Now, I'm amazed that there's any sludge in here whatsoever. It's not real thick or anything, but because I change this oil fairly regular in this engine. But I think the problem might be is for many, many years, when everybody was squawking, you got to put zinc in your engines, I wasn't. And I was bragging to people how my engine's been fine all these years just running just regular synthetic oil. Well, let me put it to you this way. I was wrong. Here you go. You have it. I was wrong. I've been wrong about a lot of stuff lately. Oh well. Yeah. Pride comes before a fall, right? I don't want to get too proud, so I just keep screwing up on purpose, so I won't get proud. I'll stay humble, right? Well, anyhow. So anyway, we'll clean that pan out. I'm going to get everything cleaned up, get the gasket surfaces nice. And I'm pretty sure you all can figure that out, so I'm probably not going to do the old camera on that. It'd be boring as heck watching me clean an oil pan and you know, that sort of stuff. But anyhow, let's see what else we got to do. We got the pan off now. We're going to clean things up. We found the pushrod. Yeehaw! And yeah, we're just going to put the pan back on. No, we're not going to put the pan back on because it's easier and better to put the timing cover on first and then put the pan on. Then you're not having a finagle with all that crap. So we're going to leave the pan off. I might just go stick her in the tank and let her eat for a while. Because the gaskets come off nice and easy too. So I'm going to go stick this in the tank. And I think what we're going to do next is maybe start looking at the camshaft, right? We'll put the new cam in. I did want to, I'm not seeing a lot of metal in here. Let's get the, I think I better turn that back on the downside. This is what's on the bottom of the pan, and I'm not feeling any grit on that at all. So I'm thinking if I clean the pan out, let her drip dry out the bottom of the pan, that's not going to leave, it's probably a tiny bit in the crank. Let's take a little bit, another scoop out of here. And this is the mud on the bottom of the pan. Viscosity is good. This is almost like gear oil. It's so thick. So she's dirty though. Eesh, gas. And there's a lot of contaminants in there from like gas and what have you, from me messing with it, monkeying with it, and valves not opening and just dumping fuel and washing the rings and all that good stuff. So I don't know how much damage we've done. Which I guess it makes sense to put this flat tappet cam in there, because if I put a roller in there and there is a piece that's still stuck in there and ruin that $1,000 camshaft, I would probably, be honest with you, not be real happy. Here's a little craziness for you. Because of this little ledge right here on the oil pump, it's hard to get, I can barely get a socket in there because it has to fit in to that groove. Now here's the problem, when I start to take this out, it's probably going to back up into that. So I'm going to have to drop this as I go. So get out the old hand hammer. Oh, wait. Oh, maybe that's not even going to work. Golly, that is tight. Okay, hand hammer, functional. Let's try the hammer. Also non-functional or non-effective. What's the word I'm looking for? Effective. Non-effective. That bugger is on there. So we're going to have to get a pry bar. Be right back. Alright. One of three things is going to happen. Either she's going to break free, or she's going to bust my socket, or she's going to bust the ratchet. Why do I say she's not going to bust the extension? I don't think it will. Holy Moses and Aaron. Here we go. Well, there it goes. Well, it came loose. It's a miracle. That bugger was on there. Dang, I don't know what the torque's supposed to be on that thing, but it was on there. Alright. Now, my plan is to get the socket back, the ratchet back. My plan is I'm going to take this oil pump out because she's probably full of that oil that had contaminants in it. And as you can see, the crank is very clean looking. We should probably check all these rods, but I didn't have no rod knock, so we should be good. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to soak it too. I'm going to run some fluids through it and pretty much drain this engine completely of oil. And I could probably put a little bucket of oil right here and run some through it. It's not a half bad idea. I'm going to clean the oil pump out first. The less oil I have in this thing when I do this, the better. And then we're going to try to flush it somehow, some way, make a big mess, and go from there. So here we go. We're going to get super dirty. And this thing, that's in good shape. They sell metal ones of these now. This one's still good. So I'm just going to go stick this in the cleaning tank, and I'm going to spin this. I'm going to spin a little bit now and try to get rid of some of this oil. Let's see. I don't know if you can see that. Well, probably not. Let me see if I can get you in on this so you can enjoy what's going on here. All right, let's pull the rear cap off of here. Let's get something to catch this oil. Oh boy. There we go. Woo. You just can't stay tidy when you're working on cars, you know what I mean? Alright, let's go put these somewhere. Well, I guess that works right there for the moment. Alright, probably going to need the brass hammer to give this a little tappity tap. Oh yeah. Oh, and I have a trick. I don't know if it's a good one or not, but it works for me. If you take one of these bolts, the less greasy one in my case, and you keep it hanging, not quite. See that? And just give it a little tappity-tappity. You have to tap that side too, I think. It'll break it free for you. You don't have to actually tap. Oh, there we go. See that? It doesn't hurt a thing. Bearings look fair. I'd almost be tempted to put a new one in there, but let's see if it's got grooves or anything. Not too bad. We'll think on that. I might get a set of mains. Well, I'm not going to pull the crank out though, so probably not. But look at that crank, huh? That's an Eagle crank I put in this car quite a few years ago. It's pretty, isn't it? Here's where I get a little nervous, because when something's not malfunctioning, something's still good, you go pulling out the good stuff, something that's working, and go to replace it. There's always that chance you could cause a problem where there wasn't one before. So this rear main is actually in there pretty darn good. It doesn't want to, it's not wanting to come out of there. She was really in there good. She's a little dry, so I guess it was time. Yeah, she's not bad per se, but you know, it's probably time. So it's probably a good thing that we're doing it. I just hate to pull stuff out. Now, what I usually do is I will stagger my seal. So like it's in half in this way and half in that way, so that this end right here, where it actually butts up against the block, isn't the seam. The seam, if I come over here, you'll see this one, and this one's hanging out a little bit right here. I can touch it. It's hanging out about 1/4 inch. I can go a little bit more than that, but the idea is to have the seam not on the seam. Now, I'm going to try to pull it. Oh, look at that. Oh, that was sweet. Look at how nice and easy that went. I'm not so sure that's a good thing. Because, honestly, boy, that's because of the, man, it's hard to get it in the camera. There we go. Boy, it just slid right out. And I had some good quality Permatex in the corners, which is what I usually do. But this one's a little dry, but it's still pretty pliable here where it counts. So I don't know. It might have been all right, but it did slide blah, 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 out of there pretty easy. So, but you don't really want to put Permatex anywhere else on these. You know, just on the corners, and let the seal do its job. You know what I mean? So I think it was Nick's garage. I heard him say it over and over and over again. The gasket does the sealing. Don't load it up with Permatex. If you watch the video on my truck with putting the front seal in that one, I used a very high quality sealant. It was like $20 for a small tube of it. Okay, it's a tube that you use a caulking gun for, as opposed to the tube you get where you squeeze it. But that stuff, it was sticky. I mean, it was really high quality. So I'm going to use that on this seal as well. I'm going to go ahead and slide the first seal up in there, and then I'm going to slide the second seal up in there, but I'm going to put some goo on the corners, okay, of each one. So the one that I put the goo, well, you'll see. I'll just do it while you're watching, and that way you'll see. But the one that's not going to go all the way through, I'll put the goo on the other one, and that'll go up inside. And then I'm going to put the goo on this one so that it's on, you know, anyway. Put the goo on the ends. All right, but just going to put a dab on each one. I'm going to slide her up in there, and I'm going to let the Permatex and the seal do its job. I washed my hands. Not washed, but washed my hands before I put this in. Now, on the seal, the open part goes towards the front of the engine, because anywhere this so the oil is going to get trapped in here. Okay, so it's going to go in this way. This one's kind of idiot proof because the way this is in here, it's fat on one side, skinny on the other, so you really can't mess it up. But you know, with a big enough hammer, you can probably screw anything up. Alright, now they also give you this nifty little installation tool, and what this is designed for is so you don't shave the back of this when you're putting it in, you know. This shouldn't be too big a deal, because I'm going to put this side in like this, and we're going to just slowly, just gently put this in here. So now you can kind of see what I'm doing here is I've got the tool in there. It's making it very, very hard, but I'm going to have to pull that tool out of there. There we go. And just gently pushing it up. Oh, we're starting to shave it a little bit. We don't want to do that. Wasn't doing that till just now. See that little thing right, that little bead right there? That's what we don't want. So, she's gonna fight us on this. Dang it. Okay. This seal is obviously a lot better than the other one. So let's go ahead. Oh, she's still shaving. Dang it. Come on now, get in there. Got to try to get this in here. Just going to get something small to push in there. I thought I had a... going to try to push this over a little bit as I push it in. I think that ought to... There we go. I think we've stopped it from shaving. Maybe. Ah, that's not good. We don't want that. All right, I'm going to have to get this tool up in here. That's what you don't want right there. Oh, shoot. I forgot to put grease on it. Dadgummit, David. So after all that, I've got to try to get it back out. That's not good. All right, well, hang tight. I'm supposed to put grease on the edge of it before I put it in there. Okay. As you can see, I've got this one right here, okay, and it's out a little bit. I'm going to do the exact opposite with the other one. And I've learned the proper way to use the tool anyway. I was using it improperly. The tool actually goes in here when you're going, because it was shaving in the middle, so I had to put a little Permitex in there, but that's how it goes. So we're going to do this side now. Put a little bit of grease on the bearing surface itself. Again, the open end goes towards the end, the front of the car. So I'm going to put this in there. I'm going to slide it up in there. It's only going to go up a little tiny bit. And there we go. All right. Leave my tool in there momentarily because it keeps it tighter in there. I don't want it to fall out. Now that Permitex I was telling you about, it's called Motorcraft Sealant, and the general consensus on this stuff is if it'll keep a Ford from leaking, it'll keep anything from leaking. So we're going to put a little bit of a dabble-do between the two of these right in here. All right, and then a little bit up in here, right like so. It ain't pretty, but it should do the job. And we're going to pull this seal out of here on this tool. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Put a little bit in there. Oops. Got a little carried away. There we go. And that should keep it from leaking past in some way, some form. All right. Stuff takes a little while to dry, so you don't have to rush too terribly much. But you don't want to let it sit forever either. I'm going to go ahead and put the main cap back on, but I'm not going to torque it just yet. I'm going to go find out what the torque spec is on that. And even though I don't torque a whole lot of stuff, main caps I torque. So that's what's going to happen now. Here's the humdinger of it all. You see that red goopy stuff? It's engine guard, cam guard, whatever. It's a very sticky lubricant that you have to lubricate the bearing before you put it on. But you don't want to get this all greasy because that's where the seal is going to go. So that's our dilemma. So I'm going to get me one bolt and we're going to put it up in here. We're going to try to finagle it so it fits nicey nice inside that seal that we just put in there, okay? Which is that is the trick. Here we go. And you will see that the goo is starting to squirt out over here. And that's what we want. And I'm just going to snug this up for now. And I'm going to go check and see what my torque specs need to be. And I'm going to torque it. All torque, no action. Nope, you got to do action too. So torque and action. And let's let's see, I think I used the pneumatic for that one, didn't I? I sure did. But we're not going to use the pneumatic to put it back on. Nope, 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 we're not. Where to put it? Oh, on the floor. Okay. We are going to just snug it up, though. So we're just going to gently, gently, gently. Bad idea, right? There we go. See it ooze? Alright. From there, I'm going to do... Ooh, you can see it. I never noticed that you could see the seal in there. How weird is that? Never noticed that before because it's never been blue, right? That's the first time I've ever used a blue seal. Alright, but you can see the seal in there. You can see the goo coming out of there. We don't want it to be catching up in the crankshaft there, so we'll kind of just spread it around. Spread the love! Once that crank starts, that's gonna... You can actually see it oozing out right here in between the two seals. So that's, I've never noticed that before, but you can actually see that on this. Maybe I'll get you a close-up so you can see that. Because I don't think you can from here. So bear with me and I'll try to get you a close-up. I'm the worst cameraman ever. But there you go. You can see it now, right? See, you can see the seal, the little bit of blue right here. And if you look really carefully, you can see that little line of gray going across it. And that's the seal. Time to torque them. According to the information that I found online, and online as always, right? I'm going to confirm it later. But for the moment, it says for 2 bolt mains, which is what this is, it's 95 pounds. For 4 bolt mains, it's 110 pounds. Don't ask me why you need more torque for more bolts, but whatever. Okay, so, ooh, pretty good scar here. I bet you that was from that push rod. Anyway, so we're going to start out with like 65. And we're going to just torque this down to 65 pounds. Man, I might have to lower the car. Ooh, I might have to lower the car for this. There we go. Jeez, wheezy. It's kind of up there for... Man, that was... Alright. Kind of short. I might have to lower the car because I can't get good leverage. Alright, next one. We're going to go to... I'm going to go to about 80 pounds. They want you to do it in increments. So we're going to go about 80 pounds. Same thing. Alright. Should have an automatic one of these somehow. And then the next one I'm going to is 95. And I'm not going to lie, that's going to be a... going to be a backbreaker trying to do 95 pounds in this position because I've got my hands way over my head. Ugh. Yeah, we're probably going to have to get down here. Oh, there we go. Alright. Phew. Okay. Wow. That was fun. Nope, not really. Now, I am going to go double check that torque spec before I just leave it. But that is basically all I have time for today. That's all I got time for today. I don't really like leaving this crank exposed probably because I won't be able to get to it till probably next weekend. So I may go ahead, in fact I can almost guarantee I'm going to go run over to the cleaning tank. I'm going to clean that pan up real quick, at least good enough to put over here to keep moisture out. And then I'm going to slide it back on here. Not going to lube it, nothing. I'm just going to stick it there. We're going to do a little more cleaning on the outside, probably maybe a little bit of paint jobbage. But I need to put some goo on that when I put it back in. But anyway, just to keep some moisture out, so I am going to go clean that real quick. But I'm going to go ahead and end the video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you've already subscribed, rock on. Thank you very much. You have no idea how helpful that is for me. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and because that helps me. Everything helps me, I guess. And so if you're enjoying the videos or if they're helping you, hey, it don't hurt to hit that old like and subscribe button. Cost you nothing. So I do appreciate it for all of you who do subscribe and watch my videos, and see ya.